Well, my first confrontations were boxing my way out of my mother's body. I was covered in blood and shit, and that was enough to start me on the wrong foot. Already I was protesting as just a baby coming out of the womb. Yeah, I was slapped into existence, and I had a bad attitude since then. I have been protesting, making music, stomping my feet, throwing temper tantrums. I have not stopped. They continue to this day. Every day when I confront the status quo, when I confront apathy, when I confront the war machine, when I confront laziness, every day is a good day if I am doing something creative that confronts all that crap.
Confronting my bank account, I think, is my biggest struggle. How did we meet? The very first time we actually met was...
Cold hands like that of a doctor.
Yeah, terrible circulation.
Were you operating on me? Was it you?
Yeah. Where you were doing a D Hout tour and Gallon Drunk was supporting. We were at the same gig. I barely remember it. Apparently we were there. And after that...
When did we come together?
We came together... I don't know. We started playing gigs together about 10 years ago or more.
I think I first was looking for a saxophonist, and I was introduced to Terry Edwards, and began doing shows with him, who is now a member of of Gallon Drunk.
And a lot of this came through a mutual friend, a writer called Kathy Unsworth, who knew Gallon Drunk and knew Lydia, and she recommended the saxophonist to Lydia, and then one by one we all started playing with her, and then Ian, the drummer from Gallon Drunk, who's sitting over there but can't be bothered to come over and do the interview, he had this great idea, well, we should do a band together. And he came up with the name.
We were at a poetry festival in Italy. And I think we were throwing the name around together, but because we were just saying we wanted something big, sexy, noisy.
Noisy.
And we knew what we wanted it to sound. Also because there was an absence. What was that? What? How did we get the name?
That's from the Peanut Gallery, thank you.
I think we were just throwing adjectives around, and we knew that there was an absence of balls-out cock rock, that rock had gone soft. And I was kind of sick of my political, well, of course I'm not sick of political rallying and ranting. I even have political songs within Big Sexy Noise. But I had done so much spoken word or illustrated word that focuses on, you know, the political abuse we all face. And I wanted something that was really like the party music for the apocalypse. And that's hence how we formed Big Sexy Noise. Well, I have Retrovirus, which is a retrospective of my music from Teenage Jesus forward, with Bob Bird of Sonic Youth, Pussy Galore, Chrome Cranks, Tim Dahl, who's played with Yusuf Lateef, and numerous out jazz, Mark Ribot, Jean Zorn, Weasel Walter, who's probably one of the best improvisational guitar players, although he's a drummer. And we do a retrospective of my music from Teenage Jesus forward, especially for kids that, well, I never even played half these songs live before. So we cover Teenage Jesus, Eight-Eyed Spy, Queen of Siam, 1313, etc. And just bringing the music with new life, brutarian and brutal as it is, to a new audience is very exciting for me. I'm a contrarian, so it makes sense. So I have Retrovirus, I have Big Sexy Noise, I have Cypress Grove, which is my desert blues project. An album just came out called A Fistful of Desert Blues in Italy this year with Cypress Grove. And I have Medusa's Bed, which is a three-piece female improvisational group with an Austrian violinist, Mia Zabelka, and a Pakistani sound artist bass player, Zara Mani. So these are the projects musical that I have going on right now, that are all going on at the same time. It's never the same show exactly, but yes, I mean, Big Sexy Noise, we released an EP and 2 LPs.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, and a live album.
We released an album called Trust the Witch and Collision Course. So tonight, I mean, we have numerous amounts of songs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's a lot of musical improv going down with it as well, and one never knows what's going to happen. To me, it's one of the most fun and exhausting projects I have because it's just pure cock rock.
Yeah, it's a chance to really
have fun.
Have fun, let rip, and it's really full on, and it's different to what between the three of us, what we would normally do, like what Ian and I would do with Gallon Drunk and what Lydia does. But so it's a chance to really just like blow out the cobwebs, just clear your mind, just with just this gorgeous, full-on, you know, it's sort of
fun,
simple, dirty rock music with smart lyrics.
We always ask how dumb is this song, meaning that's a good thing, meaning how dumb, meaning how basic rock can we go, but still elevate it to something else via the lyrics and via where the improv part of it can go. So, I mean, I always love doing cover songs. I love going into traditional genres and just twisting them around. So, this to me is just straight up dirty fun.
There's one that is always, it's pretty much an improv called Trust the Witch, which is the title track off the last album. And it's a sort of smoky Dr. John sort of thing. That's how it started. And
a voodoo groove.
Yeah, every time it starts, it could just, you know, we don't really know what's going to happen with it. So it's, you know, that one's really cool to play, and it's got a really big atmosphere to it, and that's a favourite. And Forever on the Run, the last one, the sort of.
To me, because we have a couple of pocketfuls of songs, then we can design the set to be all of our favorite songs. And we're not catering to an audience that comes memorizing this material. So to me, it's the entire set that makes it memorable, not one song that's a standout. It's taking hard rock, pushing it further, being dirty with it, being sassy, and turning also the sexism on its head. So our classic song is called Your Love Don't Pay My Rent. And that's really a twist on lazy men sucking off their girlfriend's bank accounts. And I think it's a pretty catchy song. Oh, no.
No, I mean, well, sometimes you know, when we're sound checking.
Why aren't you working while you're working? I don't understand, James. You just don't work enough. Yeah, I don't work enough. Why don't I write songs while I'm touring, while I have 5 working bands going? You're right. You're so right. I need to start sleeping 3 hours a night, not 4. You're right.
A riff or something might come up. You know, sometimes at a sound check, you might think of, you know, something will come up. You think, oh, that sounds cool, and record it.
I don't write one single sentence unless it's an email on tour. I sleep as much as possible because in my normal life, I sleep 4 hours a night. I live for the show. Everything else that surrounds the 23 hours of that day on tour is usually bullshit or annoying. It's traveling. I try to sleep as much as possible, eat as much good food as possible, drink as much as possible, never get drunk. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen. And we do not. The last time you saw me drunk was? Oh, the last time I saw you drunk was? Let's not get into it.
Well, you can if you like. But probably yesterday. But yeah, no, next question.
No, I mean, touring, the main thing is the live show, and it really is exhausting. And I mean, you know, you get up, you have to leave 10 o'clock every day, or earlier, 7 o'clock. There's no time. Your juice is drained out of you.
You know, when a load of dates come in, finally, and you think, you know, great, we're going to go. But all you're looking forward to is the playing. You're not looking forward to the travelling. You're not looking for, you know, it really is just the emptying your mind, just blasting off this gorgeous noise. That's what we look forward to doing, because we're playing to one another, and that really comes across the three of us. Just really,
it's a three-way circle jerk, and that the audience enjoys seeing 3 people giving the most fantastic orgasm they can to themselves, and that they enjoy being a part of that.
And they don't have to clean up afterwards.
And there's no mess, no fuss. We'll clean up after it. That, to me, is what's exciting, is to see people really getting off on the music they're playing, uninhibited stuff, and inviting you into that party. But in this kind of lifestyle, if you have a half an hour to yourself a day, you're lucky.
It's a miracle, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't write one sentence.
No. Well, related to doing this, I'd say joy, actually.
I'm going to say soulmate.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to be in a partnership with anybody when it's not, unless it's completely deep and trustworthy.
You have to really, absolutely, totally trust one another. But you know, you can't express that in one word.
Actually, relief.
Yeah, yeah.
Relief.
Escape as well.
Joy. That's about 100 words.
Now there's a song. My dad once said to me, "Your lips are blue. I suspected death," but. I was sitting in his anyway, but death. God,
too much life, not death.
Spiders.
Living too long. That won't happen, don't worry. Fear? Irrelevant. Patriarchy? Well, I'm still attacking the patriarchy, and every time I open my mouth, I'm basically attacking the patriarchy. I still do spoken word attacking the patriarchy. Every one of my solo shows ends in a war rant against the whoremongering American genocidal maniacs that are basically ruining the entire planet and colonizing the entire place. I will not stop speaking about the patriarchy, especially God the fucker, as one of the reasons for most wars, not world wars. Greed, that is especially of the American patriarchy, the father of my country. Of course, now there's a beige puppet, so he's not really the father figure of anything. And I will always attack this because basically the women lost the world during the Bronze Age, and we will never have the world back. There will never be an end to war because man is stupid, greedy, ignorant, selfish, and they're killers by nature. There will always be war. There will always be a patriarchy. We are now run by a corporate cabal. That will not change. It's not going to change. So embrace the apocalypse and party like it's whatever, 2014.
Yeah, which is exactly what we do. Which is all, and it's about sort of a like-minded attitude and sort of view on life. It's not just making the noise. It's just sort of it's
rebellion from false virtue, and pleasure is the only real rebellion. At this point, and this is always the end of my solo speeches, and that we must reclaim pleasure, especially as women, because it's the first thing they steal from us by trying to constrain us into acting socially acceptable. So pleasure is the ultimate. It's the only rebellion we as individuals have left. And that's why something like Big Sexy Noise is an act of rebellion. Because my pleasure is the only rebellion I can get against warmongers that are trying to ruin this entire fucking planet. You know what? It's always as I said it was. Let them blow it up. Drop the drones. Man once again proves forever how ignorant they are and how greedy they are. And this is something I have to embrace. I have to laugh in the face of this because otherwise I'd blow my own brains out. And instead I choose to celebrate by the rebellion of the pleasure of making music and creating art, which is supposed to be the salve to the universal wound. I'm Lydia Lunch, and that's all I'm going to say. Thanks.